Unity Broadcasting.
Unity Broadcasting Television don't come for unify, sensitize, and inform Salon people home and abroad. Broadcasting TV don't come. For developments now we country TV. Unify, sensitize, and inform we all. For developments now we nation salon. Unity Broadcasting TV don't come. For developments now we country TV. Unify, sensitize, and inform we all. For developments now we nation salon. We now independent media house. We dey here for unify, sensitize, and inform. See a Leone home and abroad.
We dey have so for talk, but waiting they happen. Political discussion. You for know about salon politics. Religious messages, entertainment self no go left again. We no go left nothing bien no.
TV don't come.
For developments now we country TV.
Unify, sensitize, and inform we all.
For developments now we nation salon.
Unity Broadcasting TV don't come.
For developments now we country TV.
Unify, sensitize, and inform we all.
For developments now we nation salon. This not the team them where we dey talk about
Sierra Leone political history,
defeating the lives of fake people.
Waiting they be na social media.
One-on-one interview, we go bring you all the hot topics.
Unity Broadcasting TV say,
and we let myself and better salon.
Hello, Unity Broadcasting platform family members, and we take God thank you today. Now a very beautiful day. Today na Tuesday. Strongly believe say this now May 2, 2022. But Lord also tell God thank you for yesterday for the Muslim Ummah. Yesterday we all go confirm say we not get no other God but Allah. So we pray to her yesterday for all the Muslims and we fast. So I thank you, and I believe say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you the blessing for the fast one that fast, because Allah said we are for this 1 month, let we just devote time to him. Let we deny ourselves everything, earthly pleasure, vanity, just praise and worship him. That's all he requires from we. Now that he not require any other thing again. So we tell him thank you for we he bring we this far. Today, when I meet to 2022 Tuesday, Kotubuko Omar doing the presentation. Now, Unity Broadcasting, they come bring some vexing issues to them as we try for go into the 2023 elections. The skeptics or the unbelieving Thomases, then they argue, so, the advent of the NPRC, then the way they may take over, he bring Hamburg in the country no go before and all that. You see, there's what they call compartmentalization. People then get for be intellectually honest. They really get for. The question we'll get, people that really want to say, under the NPRC, they not see no progress, nothing at all. Of course, if anybody come with that kind of a thinking, and you must be really, really blind to reality. Some of we tell God thank you. Waiting we enjoy today. If the NPRC not become or the army not be take over today, we're not going to talk about democracy. We're not going to talk about elections. We're not going to talk about 2023 and above. The only reason we'll get that because the structures, the way APC be put in place, that mechanism wouldn't, if not to God, where people like Strasser risk their life, would have been having no election as alone. That I can tell anybody. Or if any election day, now they never go going. Because they have no plan actually of, even though when they say, then they try for return the country to multi-party politics. No. the whole thing will be facade. We see a lots of improvement under the MPRC coming, say they hand over power to civilian government. We tell God thank you for that. And the belief is because of what they do, the roadmap where they show we, the structure and the foundation where they set in place, and with democracy, we believe say this time they go down, go just like Ghana, where after Rawlings, there's no more military intervention in Ghana after Rawlings, because when Rawlings do, they set the foundation, the structure, and everything, and that also goes for Nigeria also, where since Obasanjo then come now Tego now this structure and foundation with it. So we said we really take God thinking. What we need now for do now for enhance and sustain that gains the world don't make as a result of what happened on April 29, 1992, with the advent of Strasser and others, where they remove that totalitarian government, they remove that dictatorship, they remove everything where they impede, democracy and all that. So tell God thank you for that. A day like today, especially under this administration, you see a lot of things where when they stand in human, progress, where they stand in human, where they don't remove them. We talk about the death penalty that is gone. We talk about the freedom of the press, free speech, and all that. In fact, not only that, the government even try for consolidate them, for even now make the people that will belong to the media, give them also a stake in the running of the government, building institutions for them. So the advent of NPRC through a military intervention, so we look at saying that a blessing in disguise. It brings a lot of things in, and if anything, anybody who want to be assured, so you know they return to one party rule anymore. And I can tell anybody with any degree of certainty, the one party rule came about in 1978, the APC winner. So you know be a place will be very fertile for a democracy, because see even before we get independence, but from independence, stay calm. Now we will get a multi-party democracy, parliamentary democracy now we get. In fact, that make because of that, now make APC come into power. But when they come, what they begin Muslim, they begin kill them, all because the leaders, starting with Shaka Stevens, they be one see they says as dictators and within the power table, and this is exactly what to the SIPA and the Spy Koruma, when he came into office, look what he do. Even though when the constitution just talk about 2 terms, consecutive terms, and he don't make any provision for go around, we begin seeing what and the Spy Koruma begin do after you now more time and all that. But we tell God thank you. We tell the citizens Boku thank you. We bless them because what they do, they stand firm. They say that not going to happen now anymore. They stand firm. What he do? He grab the party. He make himself life leader. Look, give you all waiting in the go to. But again, one thing I like about Salon, when problems thinking they, you get people then when they come out, we're very determined, we're very principled, we're very focused, we're very patriotic. We will say, no, this not going to happen because this is wrong. Now, infractions of principle. And we tell God, thank you. One man, when they call Alfred P. Conte, it's enough firm. He say, democracy will take hold inside the party. Yes, there was a lot of odds against them, even against your well-being, in safety and everything. But what he do, he stand firm. A day like today, alhamdulillah, look at what happened. There has been a judicial ruling whereby God in your power, no matter what happened, the APC of Anes by Koroma, go to the so now wonder where they can finally face out. Waiting they can get, then they can usher in an APC way almost they run parallel to SLPP, will go be one where they govern on the rule of law, democracy, and a competition where everybody they be part and parcel of them, where everybody go hold office through the validity of the sanctity of the ballot box. Nobody no go sit down there where it is going to no more go sit down power. No, that's not going to happen. That is not simply going to happen. So to the ones them, the doubters them, where they cast aspersions on the advent of the NPRC coming into power in Salon, I think you guys cannot be any more mistaken in una belief or in perception. If anything, if God think you say the advent of them, the NPRC, where the army will come known as the NPRC coming to power, really a blessing for the blessing for the country. And what you don't do, you don't pave the way for permanent democracy in a salon. Permanent. If anything the way anybody will get for, be rest assured, there is going to be no more one party system in a salon. One party dictatorship is not going to work anymore. So now the big benefit that John the Cow Rawlings in June 4, 1979, incursion into the politics of Ghana, where it don't build a lasting democracy in Ghana, and also in Nigeria, where after Abubakar Abdul Salam, where he hand over power to Obasanjo, where he came in as a civilian president, take go 1990, take go with the Senate. Eventually, they said they can't hold another presidential election again, where by God power the vice president Yomi Obasanjo or Osibanjo or whatever they serve the trial for fed for run. And waiting good day, the president of Buhari, endorse nobody, they impose nobody. Now the citizen, now them go elect a leader. They impose no candidate on the party. Now even the vice president, they out there in the campaign so that he will get the nomination. Is against one man, Mr. Tinubu, now the campaign against. So these are the sort of democracy they want to see, the competitive democracy, one way people in the sit on office because they have been elected. And so God, thank you for the advent of the NPRC coming. We see the benefits then, and I would enjoy today. And now even APC, they aim that with now made in the trouble of 2023. Now, the next thing we can talk about. Now, this, raw hate way they not inject it with politics that's alone. It's so sad and unfortunate that people, they're not able to distinguish between where you not like somebody as an individual, you're not able to compartmentalize. You're not able to distinguish between what a person they do in terms of policy, against him as person. For example, we see a photo where they go around, where the president will go pray at in a corner, something like that. Instead of, people then just, acknowledge the fact, say, yeah, the president go pray, they say, no, what they do? They look for something that's so irrelevant for let the man look bad. Then they talk about the president, the cost of his shoe will buy over almost bag of rice. So the question where we they ask, what is the relevance of that? What is the relevance of that? So the president not for wear shoe, the president for what cat go there, the president because in another president, he not forget anything where go project in personality and all that. Una want the president they appear just like a yard boy. Things like this are not good. This politics of hate to the extent people they know they draw a line between you not approve of the person, you not like the person, but at the same time you give credit where credit is due. The opposition has never given President Bio any credit, even though they see the strikes the way it don't make, way compared to the monumental and horrendous failures then. And then by Koroma promise say Ingo Care University gonna kono. The question is Idwa now. And then by Koroma promise say then go lift the death sentence Idwa no. It talks say then go restore free press in the country no in Odwa. I mean if these are just few of the things they know more they take for all. But this administration, they don't do. Yes. Yes. So this is where the question of, compartmentalization comes in, where you they give kudos, to somebody for which you don't do, even when you don't let them. Going about, they nitpick, they look for every little thing for let the president look back is a totally unacceptable. And even was so on a day like yesterday, where God made for all Muslims, they out yonder, they pray to Allah. We all accept the dare to say Allah no get no equal. There's no other God passing alone. These are the things they talk about. Rather than we they go for therefore bring somebody down, like that. We really get for change with attitude, with mentality, and perception about we serve in the country. And like I say, you not necessarily get for let the person, but where the person is due credit, I mean, Lord be honest enough, Lord get the integrity enough. Above all, Lord get what they call atakwa, Allah atakwa, meaning that Allah is fair. Let we get her for Lord be able for talk the truth. Lord do that. But this PhD, pull him down syndrome, not the help. Even the rebel was self will take place in the salon, who will go to that kind of a war in day, 10 years of carnage, where where we see the wanting destruction, all of this that this self-hate, what will allow yourself to be overcome with hate. All of this na inner part of them probably as well. Today, the talk not going to be too long. Now, just like we say, now a precursor to waiting Commissioner Vanny. They can't talk tomorrow by God power, and they will come again Thursday with the big one. Who normally we can call defeating the lies, where everything will not happen. We put out again, and things like Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we just the kind of more to really light on things then with it just so no more the studio not go without anything. So now we can look for things then. And what I want to end up this brief show here we actually today not just about 30 minutes of the camera on the advice to the youths them. I really want now focus on the youths them. For 5 years, where then people can get power. After the elections, they will not see them. The only time when they come around, that for come bribe if I buy una humanity, they'll give una really choking for le state on go do this, go do that, go do this. We'll get caught up in all kind of activity. But even as they do this, then your family members are very secure. Take their 40 years, Sunny. All this way they do, if you can get a job, they work in a bank. One day, 40 years, Sunny, if you not come out, say, then they go get part of, be part of the problems. But now that in the same day. So, waiting, I go action for do. I go action say, we are this election where they come so. We are not allow anybody for misleading them. All they do if what you need for do now for register. Now I make sure where the census be counted, they tell everybody say una go, una allow, una say for be counted, allow. Because when una be counted, then una go be among the number we go participate in the electoral exercise. Because when they don't register, they don't count una, they have to register una. You able to get the voting papers for go vote. But if you know it may be part of the census, what you don't do, you allow fools then like for the assigned for what it may mislead you. You don't the way the Quran so anybody where God don't mislead, nobody not go guide them anymore. So now the people like for the assigned, they're not good for themselves, so they're not good for that. God don't mislead people like that one and they guys like Alex by Koma them. So what they do, they already mislead you, misguide you. So now the one thing. Census is a very integral part of any nation in development. Census, because when they get census, they know X amount of people they need this, they need that, they need. But if we are not going to participate in the census, we allow fools like for the them then go full now. Una not do am. Una not. Una just dey hurt to yourself no more, not to the government una they do. Una just dey hurt to yourself. So una just remember this. Say there are a lot of things saying not to because now the administration come up with an enemy could not go and do am. After all, the census, it didn't the constitution anyway. And APC do am. It didn't the constitution. So I not say, and waiting them come on a bogus figures them come up with. Bogus figures them. Go create electoral boundaries. That's what they call gerrymandering. Boundaries and we not get that amount of people there. All this job because they want to get more people in parliament. They want to get so because this night and it's by Koguma being aim at getting more people in parliament so that way they and see so that way they will try to bribe them. Then they twist the constitution so that you know it will come back for a third term. These are all the reasons we make, but we say God thinking this administration not take a hard look at them. They don't take a hard look. They don't do now proper census. So with that, they will get for coming proper allocations there by God power. And I tell anybody this. The constitution also give this now they end up with everybody know that. The constitution also give the president power for instruct the electoral commission for let the whole election by like that first one we bring Ahmed Yankabade where they call them proportional representation. That also now part of the narrative now for the elections. If there are problems them arising out of the NTSO. So whichever way you go, the elections are going to be held is either it be a direct elections where everybody they clamor for, or it be the one way we do by proportional representation. We see that when MPRC be return the government to civilian rule. So at the end up again by telling God thank you, say well yesterday we don't go pray for we are farm with it in only one God day. Now I could go pray to her yesterday. And also I want let everybody understand the facts. It is one thing for dislike President Bio as a person. But when people go that low, they go that low to the lowest of low, then they look for anything when a propaganda, when a lies, misinformation, disinformation, for poisoning people in their mind. For example, when the man go pray in a corner, they talk say the people they know why you hate the mind. So all man come out. No, that's a big lie. It's a big lie. But by God power, Thursday will come. We go deal with that in depth. For 30 people, they say waiting a turn to get an iota of truth. But all this that the rikishi, that the poel, all time for let people they look bad. These are the sort of politics this way we get. So again, they can be told how we start say the one where they talk say where the coming of the MPRC not be that productive, not bring anything good. No. Now remember one thing. This same thing one at the Fed for now, one at the top of 2023, if not to be the advent of MPRC, waiting by Kamau, Momo, and all the equity people them, waiting them, we don't decide for do them, we don't decide for come up with systems that way anyhow we look up Nasalo. Any election we take place, that then good day. But we tell God thank you. Strasser and colleagues they see this. God give them the patriotism enough. They reach themselves. They move and get this out of the way. And going forward, they give now all these assurances here. Going forward, Salio they remain now a democratic entity. Where we self get for town like Ghana, we get for town like Nigeria, where elections go to take place as scheduled. We also want to tell this administration about Kuboku. The election, it will take place 2023. Because the opposition will begin to work at the lie, say, oh, they said they postpone the election because they talk of COVID. No. Inside with this so, in the midst of COVID, where COVID actually sit down, now election take place now, yeah. Now it take place. Nobody not postpone the election because of COVID. So when that not have on the contrary, now and by Corona me talk about Ebola and now make it be extend some of the time that we did in office, but we tell God thank you. This not will happen anymore. We get people like Mr. Alfred P. Conte, we don't come. They not change the narrative. APC, by God power, if they implement what they don't come up with, this faith way, Mr. Alfred Conte don't faith for economic, then take her to a logical conclusion. APC would be on the correct trajectory when it comes on, political governance as well. But the reason why some of we they continue for argue the fact say APC for the on that, because bad governance inside the party go spread in tentacles at national level. This is exactly where people then they fail for understand. But when you get good governance inside the party they govern itself through the rule of law, democracy, competition, everything we originally profound about that. Then there's this a tendency for them they can go at national level because waiting they practice and preach at party level, now will guide them at national level. But on the contrary, when you get bad governance, bad everything, obviously it will manifest itself at national level. And now this will pay God for lay in Obi. So until we come back to as a matter of fact, Chief Commissioner Vandy, by God power, it come tomorrow. You come also lay out the case or come in the preview for we come Thursday by God in power. We now they bring the whole M90s together, we'll call defeating the lies. So like I said, this is just a warm-up now for tomorrow. And then we check out to Thursday. So until then, again, I want to bless everybody, all the family members, they're waiting Unity Broadcasting Week today, Tuesday, May 2. We will come up with this segment here. So, Kutumikoma, now will host and presenter. Until then, let's go watch over we all until we see tomorrow.